Hey, Matt here, and welcome to another Mob Street video. Now tonight, I'm out here with the TWs, and I'm going to show you how to take your stock TW rear end to a sleek TW rear end using the Tach Industries rear taillight and Fender Eliminator kit for the TW200. So, let's get into the install. The first thing you're going to want to do is find your rear turn signal connectors and disconnect them. Now you're going to have to cut the zip ties, getting the wiring off of the frame, and that will expose the connectors on both sides. So you just clip those, pull those off, and that will allow you to disconnect the left turn signal and the right turn signal. Using a 17mm, you're going to want to loosen your turn signal nut. Go ahead and twist that off and pull the turn signal out. Now you might have to twist the turn signal counterclockwise just to get that out of there, but go ahead and pull that wiring all through and just set those aside. Using a 10mm socket, you're going to remove the two 10mm bolts that are holding the rear fender and taillight in place. And you're going to want to hold on to those because you will reuse those installing the new taillight. Pull the taillight off, and up there at the top you've got three connectors that connect your rear taillight. So go ahead and disconnect those and start installing your new taillight. Now, when it came to installing the new taillight, there were a few things that I noticed right off the bat. One, the wiring colors didn't match up, and two, the connectors weren't tight, so when I went to plug the connector in, it wasn't holding anything. So I went to the Tach Industries website, and in the instructions for the taillight, it said, hey, some of the wiring hasn't matched up. We found that it has changed on different models, and some of the connectors are loose. So you're going to have to install the wiring, just see which one fits, and then go from there. Then the other thing was, with the connectors, just use a pair of pliers, tighten down that crimp a little bit, and you should be good to go. So that's exactly what I did, and we're moving on. Now this taillight allows you to integrate the turn signals into the taillight itself, but I didn't want to do that with this one. I'm going to keep the stock taillights, so I'm just going to take these two wires that are meant for those turn signals and just tuck them up nice and neat, just like with the rest of the wiring. And then that way, if I ever want to integrate them later, I still can. So I'm just going to use a piece of heat shrink, cover these up, and then that way I know they're good and waterproof. Now I'm going to hang the rear tail light. I'm going to do this just by hand at first, just so that I can get the alignment correct, so I can have it looking the best underneath the rear fender. And once I get that fit and hung correctly, everything looks straight, I'll go ahead and snug that down, and then I'm going to move on to the rear turn signals and get those reinstalled. Now there's a little nub on the bracket there that you want to line up with the spot that is on the turn signal itself. The left and the right both have one. You just feed the wires back through, put the nut back on, using your 17mm, tighten those back down, and you're good. Now, once the turn signals are on, you're going to go back to hanging your wiring. Put the turn signal wiring back where it was before, using zip ties, hang it back up next to the frame. And I'm going to tuck this new taillight wiring in underneath the subframe and the rear fender. Just give it that nice factory look. And there you go. You've got everything back on, your taillight is done, and you are good to go. Alright, there you go. That is how to install the Tach Industries rear taillight and Fender Eliminator kit. Now remember that the turn signals are integrated with the rear taillight. Again, I did not want to do them on this. I wanted to keep the rear turn signals for now. So that is an option as well. And I will make sure to put the link for this in the description down below. And I gotta be honest, I absolutely love the look of it. It completely cleans up the back end, and it gives it more of a street savvy look, if you'll say. I'm a big fan. So if you're wondering about that, make sure to check the link down below. And as always, if there's any questions or comments, make sure to put those down below as well. I do my best to get back to those as soon as possible. Make sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and follow along, because we have added a bunch of stuff to this TW200, so there are definitely more videos to come. Now, I hope you found this video informative, and we'll call her there. I'm Matt, this is Mob Street, and thanks for watching.